Hi, I'm Jack Baruzzini, and you're listening to The Secret to Stargate, where we talk about the hidden meanings and deeper layers found in the Stargate movies, TV series, and more. And joining me today are Lisa Jones. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Jack.
And Victor Lambs. Hey, Victor.
Hi, Jack.
Today we're discussing the first episode of Season 7, Fallen. Daniel Jackson is found on an alien planet, with no memory of who he is. He is taken to Stargate Command, where he is examined by Dr. Fraser and reunited with the team. Jonas discovers that the translation of the ancient tablet is wrong, and that V-Uban is not the lost city. He and Jack theorize that Anubis is unlikely to know the location of the city, and that they can cripple him by planting a modified tablet for him to find. The team comes up with a plan to send Carter and O'Neill to the planet in an F-302 fighter interceptor, while Jonas and Jackson sneak onto Anubis's mothership to locate the target coordinates. Teal'c will then use help, say that 5 times fast, to send his fleet to wipe out Anubis once and for all. Plan is going well, and Anubis' super weapon is destroyed. However, Yu pulls out at the last moment, and Jonas is captured by Anubis. The episode ends with Anubis using his mind probe and beginning to torture Jonas, and we end on a cliffhanger there to be continued. So, and I know we're getting to close to the end of Jonas, so I feel bad that these are his final episodes.
his final episodes, and they give him that haircut, but
oh no,
yeah, or lack of haircut, yeah. Oh, you mean the next haircut?
Yeah. Well, even this one, I was like, oh, Jonas.
Yeah,
you could tell.
Look what they've done to my boy.
Actually, all of them.
Yeah,
like had their hairs not cut.
Yeah,
wasn't the best.
Sam was rocking that Tina Turner dude.
Yeah, hers looked the best.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this episode, Lisa?
I guess as much as I was looking forward to the season finale of season 6, the start of season 7, I am a Jonas fan. I know that he's leaving us, and Daniel's back, and I don't completely dislike Daniel Jackson. I like him fine. I just enjoyed Jonas, and so I'm a little torn. But thankfully, we kind of, Daniel comes back and doesn't remember who he is, blah, 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 doesn't know if he wants to know who he is. So then we get Carter like, but you're the most wonderful person in the whole world. Why wouldn't you want to know who you are? Which was a little nauseating. And thankfully, we move on from that. And then we go into SG-1 fight the bad people mode, so we don't have to focus on Daniel for too long. And Hammond goes off world. So
yeah,
that's always
and Walter
a good time.
does too.
And Walter, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sam waxing eloquent about how wonderful Daniel is, I like that his follow-up question to her is, did we have something between us? And she shuts that down real fast.
Yeah, because he's like, wow, you really like me.
Yeah.
We're very good friends.
Very good friends.
I may be mind wiped, but I'm picking up on some signals here.
No, like siblings.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Right. Remember?
Yes, exactly.
He could have just said, like, if you love me like a brother, and this episode borrows heavily from the plot of Star Wars: A New Hope. What does that mean?
Maybe that was it. Remember, because Luke and Leia kissed at one time. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's all good.
I was going to make a joke about Alabama, but I live in Alabama.
Oops.
So I'm allowed to make that joke.
Yeah, exactly.
What are your thoughts on this episode, Victor?
Yeah, I mean, every season starts with a spectacle episode where they blow up a mothership or, do something like that. They fly their plane and do something cool. And this episode, we get that, we get the archaeology episode. We get the continuation of the hook that is, the lost city. We get Daniel Jackson back without his memory and without his clothes, and which maybe was a joke that Oma pulled on him, but so we get some cool Jonas action. It's his plan to dupe Anubis into coming to the planet. And then, we get a complete rehash of basically Return of the Jedi with, the fighting on the planet, the fighting on the ship, and the fighting people flying around outside the ship, type thing. The three, it's fine. I mean, you need your spectacle, and it's pretty much a direct ripoff to the point where they like call attention to it. But I can just see Robert C. Cooper being like, "No, I'm just gonna like rip off Star Wars, and that's gonna be the show."
It's like it worked for them.
Yeah, exactly.
They rip it off to the point that when they do that, like flying into the ship shot of the mothership, and you see the reactor explode, it's the exact same design as the from Return of the Jedi. Like they didn't even.
And they have trenches basically on the mothership too.
Yeah, just like in A New Hope.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because you get the.
Oh yeah, but the reactor is exactly like what Lando blows up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that briefing scene where they're all in a dark room. Sam's telling them the plan, and we're gonna fire a missile down the ventilation shaft. And Jack's got his quips, but I was almost hoping he'd be like, well, "Do we have Luke Skywalker here or something?" Just like hang a lantern on it, which he does later on when he says, "I thought we were gonna go with Red Leader," but it was just like, this is just Star Wars.
Yeah, it's since we're on the briefing scene, I love that. Jack turns around at the end and said, like, does anybody think this is the most insane plan ever? And even the two Tok'ra operatives have their hands up, which I thought was uncharacteristically humorous of the Tok'ra, but I appreciated it.
I also take a bit of issue with Jack in that scene.
Like, just totally ripping on Carter's plan.
Yeah, it's like... You've worked with her for years, and you know that she's competent and trustworthy, and you've had plenty of, like she points out, you've had plenty of ridiculous plans in the past, but it didn't come across as very respectful of her experience or position and their friendship to just like be crapping on her plan so much.
or like contributing to the success of the mission, right? It's like, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
We're doomed.
I like that. And she's like, wackier than, what was it? Strapping an active Stargate to a 302, or wackier than blowing up a sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most of this episode is Daniel not having his memory or getting it back in dribs and drabs there. And we do get an explanation for why he doesn't have his memory and why he starts to get it back too, which I thought was really nice. But Daniel Jackson wakes up on the planet of the, planet of nomadic people, wearing blue robes, and they're dressed like the Tuareg, the nomadic people from the Sahara Desert who wear the, very bright blue garments and stuff. And what I loved about the nomad tribe here is that they're led by a chieftain or a wise man who basically speaks in platitudes and just tells the same story over and over again, just like any old guy does. And he starts to tell him the story, and the two young people he's with is like, yeah, we heard this like literally while we were walking to the well,
And he gets along well with Jack.
Yeah, that scene later on when he does meet up with Jack and they have kind of a platitude off is I think probably one of the highlights of the episode for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I like how they got.
Yeah.
I like how they got to that planet. I this is what I'm going to miss about Jonas, is that he comes up with these, logical, how,
leaps of intuition.
We're going from the top of the list. We should be going from the bottom of the list and working our way up. And I don't know. I like that out of the box thinking.
I did love the scene where he realizes that, the translation is wrong. Only it turns out that the translation is right, and he's wrong because Daniel Jackson's notes are wrong. But never mind. But he very excitedly runs into an elevator, and in the elevator is Martin Wood, the writer of the episode, and Jonas is just like yelling excitedly at him and stuff about this, and that's probably one of my favorite Jonas scenes. And then interrupts a briefing. With Hammond, and Hammond is really good in this. He's like, you have a go, just go do it. And very supportive of everybody in this episode.
I like that Jonas is going through his big long exposition, which is what you do when you're very excited about something. And there's like, do you have a gate address? And then he keeps going.
Yeah.
Carter's like 2 words.
Yeah.
Gate address.
Those are all the addresses. They do a lot of, over these, like both the finale of season 6 and then this episode, there's a lot of tiebacks to much older episodes. Like all the gate addresses are when Jack got all that alien language downloaded into his brain. So you get a nice callback there.
Mhm.
Yeah, in season 7, starting in season 7, we get a lot more of that. Like, there's an episode coming up where they're like, "Remember the gamekeeper?"
Yeah.
Or yeah, that was like season 2, like 5 years ago. And there's an episode about that and stuff. So yeah, we do get a lot of callbacks. I thought it was a little implausible, like that Jack gave like the Stargate addresses to them in a specific order, and the last one on the list is where they happen to meet Daniel. But I guess I can retcon that maybe Oma set it up that way, or Oma maybe gave Jonas the idea. If Oma's pulling the strings, it makes sense. Otherwise, it would have been like a super long time before they ever found Daniel.
Right.
I guess I don't know how. I know they're like it's P3X, whatever sequence of numbers, but I assume that's a transliteration of whatever is on the. Because the gate address is not. Those are just the designations they use.
Yeah,
for themselves. The gate
it
address
marks the 6 points in space or whatever, or that define where the planet is actually located on their plexiglass map.
Right. So I guess the gate addresses would not be like in ascending numerical order because that wouldn't really tie into.
It's just the order that Jack wrote them down, I guess. And this is the last one on his list that he wrote down, and so therefore it's the newest one.
Mm-hmm.
And so it would be the city that the ancients abandoned before they actually completed.
Yeah.
In Jonas's logic, which is kind of undercut a little bit at the end, because we soon learn that the planet they go to with the cool brick ruins isn't the Lost City.
Yeah.
It is a Lost City, but it is not the Lost City.
Yeah. So is that something, again, I've not watched all of season 7 yet. Is that something they're going to string out through the whole season?
Is it the whole season or half
of
it?
The finale episodes of season 7 are called Lost City.
Okay, so it is the whole season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Part 1 and part 2, which are some of my favorite episodes.
Oh, but if you think they're stringing things out now, just wait until you get to season 9 and 10.
That's what I've heard.
Where they could have like wrapped so much up in like a 6-episode arc, and it's like, nope, 2 seasons and 2 movies.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Quality.
It's going to be fun times.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot to, we talk about like the really good episodes sometimes aren't the best ones to talk about. We're not going to have that problem in season 10.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Just cut it to shreds.
It's, yeah, they try to, okay. Anyways, so the crux of this episode is Daniel Jackson not having his memory. I like how when they first meet Daniel, he's just kind of wandering around, but then when they're actually talking to him, they're talking to him in this very dark tent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like he's in the dark, and then he comes into the light when he leaves the tent and starts remembering things. So, but he has like this crisis. He's like, I don't care who I am. Like, why do you care who I am? And I don't even know if I like who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And and so they have to kind of Jim and Sam have to start to convince him, because he calls Jack Jim.
Yeah,
because he can't remember Jack's name even. But it is kind of neat that when Daniel first meets them, he says, "I don't remember any of you," and walks off, and Jack says, "Not even me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it when he puts his glasses on, he looks at his hair, and he's like, I forgot what he said, but he points out that his hair is different.
Yeah, have you always had that haircut?
And the answer is no, it's a lot longer.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was an ad lib.
Yeah.
Let me get he gets a scene with Teal'c where Teal'c is trying to get his Kelno-Ream on, which he can no longer do because he's on a Tritonin.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it could cause performance issues with your Kelno-Ream.
You don't have a symbiote to help you out.
Anyways,
yeah.
And it was nice that he remembers Sharae, but he's got to get it broken to him that she's dead, and then he also remembers a bit later on Jack's son Charlie, and
yeah,
it's got to be
dead too.
Yeah,
they don't talk about that, fortunately.
Yeah.
Well, got to be a sore spot for Jack.
And I like when Teal'c says, "I'm unable to Kelno-Ream ever since I have been on Tritonin after losing my symbiote," and gives this explanation, and Dan goes, "Wow, that sounds complicated." Teal'c goes, "Indeed," because it's like 6 episodes. And then, so he's like, I remember who this is. This is Sharae. Oh, this is my wife and stuff. And Teal'c's like, I'm sorry. She's dead. And he's like, oh, that's too bad. I must have had like a girlfriend, right? Or something, and oh no, she's a Gould. No, they don't do that.
Yeah,
that
no.
would have been funny if they went down
gone
like the
through
whole
the
list. It's like, oh, that's
her?
too bad. Yeah.
What about her? Wait, there's another one.
Yeah.
You're with that one girl, but then you got addicted to the sarcophagus.
to
and,
drugs, right? Yeah.
Oh, wait, and her dad was in this episode.
Oh, really? He was the old guy?
Wasn't it him?
Yeah, I think it might have been. Yeah. Need, yeah.
the actor or the character?
No, the actor.
Okay, I was about to say it.
Yeah,
he was like
chief.
the leader of the nomads, right?
Platitude guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much different character, and so you wouldn't even recognize him. But
yeah, that's funny.
I was trying to think of a platitude to tie that together, but I couldn't.
They're that platitude off. It's worth watching the episode. It's in like the first 10 minutes or so. It's worth watching it just for that one. It's pretty good.
That was nice.
Yeah, and it's they definitely go heavy on the action in the last part of this episode. You got like we've already talked about, very heavily borrowing from Star Wars, and you also get a lot of shades of Independence Day, where he calls out the missile like designation every time he fires, which I always find funny because that's also a Roland Emmerich movie, and so is that an intentional callback or?
Oh, okay. I didn't make that callback to that movie, but that's yeah, he did name a lot of missiles.
Yeah, because the whole thing in that is every time they shoot a missile in like that final fight in Independence Day, they like say the name of it.
I haven't seen it since 1996.
Yeah, right.
That's our 4th of July movie. We watch that every year on 4th of July.
Really?
Yeah.
I
don't think my kids have ever seen that.
It's the best like Go America movie.
President in the biplane or something giving a speech while Randy quit. I don't know. I just have flashes of memory. And Brent Spiner's in it at one point.
Yeah.
Okay, well, y'all need to watch it.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a Secrets of Movie TV on like the Independence Day movies. How many did they make? 2, 3?
They've made 2. I've not seen the second. I have no desire to because it looks like garbage. But
we could just meet back up on that show.
Yeah. And our roles will be reversed because I've seen that movie a million times.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
We're like, wait, what?
Nice. Yeah, so they're teaming back up with you, but he flakes out on them, which I kind of like you, so that made me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he flakes out. I think this is the beginning of a general cognitive decline on his part. I can't remember where we go from here, but yeah, he is flaking out. And yeah, I guess we'll see more of that in the next episode, which I haven't seen in a while, because this is basically they call it part 2 of 3, with the season finale being kind of the first part of it, but it's really the first part of a 2-parter. We even get the to be continued at the end of this. Yeah.
All right, and we get Jonas. He gets captured, and so you have Daniel and Jonas are in the ship stealing the Death Star plans, I guess.
Yeah,
bringing down the ship.
doing their Felger and Coombs impersonation, accessing the computer. Yeah. Yeah. Once Daniel gets his memory back, he's like super competent. Oh, I can read Gould now. I know how to navigate a mothership. So he just, and again, they explain that being, well, Oma, put a backdoor in your memory or something. She didn't do a complete wipe. She just moved things to the recycle bin. And you
just deleted the address.
Yeah.
You got to run a restore on it.
So she stripped him naked, dropped him on a random planet, not so random, and wiped his memory. She's trying to give him a fresh start.
That's true. Yeah.
But he just goes back to being Daniel.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about it that way, like just throwing him on a random planet and go live with this tribe. You like living with nomadic tribes, so...
Yeah, I mean, from all appearances, that's what she's doing. But, it just happens to be the planet SG-1's going to next. And she happened to make it so Daniel could get his memories back if he tried really hard.
Maybe that's her way of protecting herself from the others. She's like, look, I'm in line with you. I'm kicking him out. And
I love how Jonas comes up with the plan, and it's not immediately apparent like what this plan is. he's like, gosh, Anubis might want this tablet really pretty badly. And you're like, yeah, that's true. He might. And he's like, well, maybe we can use that. And, and Daniel's like, why? It's like, well, here's my plan. We leak information to him. They should have done like an Ocean's 11 type thing with, different screens happening. It's like, and then he explains the plan as it's happening. Like, first we leak information that, there's this tablet to the city of the ancients on this planet. But yeah, it's like, it's not a parts of the plan are like, and then we're going to move like our senior command staff from the SGC to the actual planet when we know that they can be scanned from orbit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense at all, other than to up the stakes of they're going to blow everyone up. Like, there was no reason for them to do that.
But it gives Anubis a reason to charge up the weapon, and as we learn, they can only blow it up when it's in, the firing sequence has been engaged.
That's kind of a flaw in the plan.
Yeah. We'll give him a really big target to shoot at.
A real target.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. With like General Hammond.
Not like a fake target with the camo. You could have just put some, like the people who just got assigned to the SGC. Like, guys, we have a really great mission for
Felger
you.
And Coombs, yeah. But
just scarecrow.
And then they're like, oh, they've, because Jonas and Daniel are still watching the screen, and they see the alert that there are people on the planet, and they're like, oh, by the way, they know you're down there. And everybody's like, oh, really? We'd better get out of here then. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? But
yeah, I like, and Hammond is, they're like, you're going to get blown up, and Hammond's just like, all right, let's go. But he isn't very urgent about it. He's just like, I guess we better leave.
Yeah. Leave and go where? It's like like he's going to target the Stargate, but oh well. That part of the plan
didn't happen. They were all safe.
They're fine. Yeah.
And as with all evil mega death weapons, they have a very long charge up sequence.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's important.
Very a weakness that is once exploited just shuts the whole thing down. No redundancy.
Yeah, and it's not like they destroyed the Eye of Ra or anything. I mean, Anubis can rebuild the weapon. They're like they're talking about like he's very finally lost this weapon,
right?
And maybe it fused some of the eye parts or something. But it seems like he built it fairly quickly. He could rebuild another one.
Because didn't they just destroy that in the last episode? Or no, this episode?
He got it in the last episode.
He got it, and they destroyed. I like that Jonas is like rubbing it in. Ha ha ha! You might have me strapped to this table and you're going to torture me, but we destroyed your big bad weapon. Okay.
I also, at what point does your big bad weapon have, like, how big and bad does your big bad weapon have to be? Like, I assume a mothership can already glass a planet, so like, it doesn't matter.
But it looks cool to like take out 12 motherships with lightning. I guess
that was cool.
Yeah. And then we get the return of the yucky ball, the little gumball with all the spikes on it. That and I guess the joke was the first time we saw this is when Anubis captured Thor. And I guess the joke was on set, like they actually had line readings of Daniel Jackson as Thor saying like where are you going to put that or something?
Yeah.
Because it's not immediately apparent like how you get it into the person's brain. But I guess it goes in maybe through an ear or something, or a nostril. I don't know.
I need to get it. He needs to put on his best Ricardo Montalban and stick it in his ear.
Yeah. City Alpha 6.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's and so your favorite part is when that you have the platitude off. My favorite part is when the weapon explodes. I found it so unintentionally hilarious. Anubis's yell. He's just like sitting there and he's just like, ah. It was just got a good chuckle out of me.
He's still a ghoul, so he's still got to be dramatic, right?
He kind of like just goes and like flops down in his chair and screams like an angry toddler.
It's part. I think it's a lot of. Yeah, the way they have Anubis designed, like he doesn't have a face. He has just the mask, but his robes they're not really billowy. Like I meant, like they're just kind of. I don't know. It's hard for him to like emote. He can't do more subtle gestures or anything because it would be, he's consumed in the cloak and stuff.
He's got to do like the grimace arms.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that's not all I'm gonna be able to think about is grimace whenever I see his, because
Yeah.
that's how he's got his arms. Like,
Yeah, he does look like a mascot character, kind of like in that costume. But yeah, no, I hate this. You hate to see Jonas get tortured again by a Gould.
Maybe that's why he leaves.
Yeah, it's like twice in 2 months. I'm out of here.
yeah, he's gotten the short end of the stick with the whole torture thing.
Gould's putting things in his brain. Yeah, take a hint.
It's not good for one's health.
No.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how they resolve the story. I am sad that we're going to be losing Jonas, but I don't know. It's nostalgic to have Daniel back after one season. Yeah,
it is, and they do have some really snappy like interchanges over these 2 episodes here.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing I don't think they can sustain and long term, but it's the freshness of it is still really good here.
Yeah, definitely. Did you have any other thoughts on this episode?
No, not really. It's like, as I said, it's a cliffhanger, and we get it resolved next time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although I did think the part where the Ewoks start singing their song was a bit on the nose. So
yeah, a little Jaffa singing Wub Nub.
I want to hear that. I want to hear Wub Nub in like the Gould voice now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wub Cree.
I think Victor could probably insert that into the episode somewhere, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're just tasking him with things now.
Yeah.
That's fine. Got time.
Do we have any other alternate language titles for this episode? I can't imagine how much you could do with Fallen.
Yeah, I mean, there were all some variation on Fallen. We actually got some like fallen angels, indicating that, is Daniel the fallen angel, or is Anubis the fallen angel, or are they both fallen angels in some respect? Yeah, in Italian we get La Caduta, the fall. In French, Retour aux sources, which is a return to the origins, which you would think that would be the last episode, but was more of a return to the origins. But then in German we get Alles auf ein Karte, which is go for broke. Or probably the German equivalent of whatever the English phrase go for broke is. Yeah, so I guess they're going for broke, and it's going for broke part 1. So we continue to go for broke next week.
There's no copycat of Star Wars.
Yeah, 2 going too broke. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention is, according to I haven't seen the Star Wars sequel trilogy, but apparently even though Stargate ripped off Return of the Jedi, blowing things up, I guess The Force Awakens ripped off the whole using hyperdrive to get through someone's shield, and that's how the Millennium Falcon attacks Starkiller Base. It's not a spoiler if I say it because I haven't seen it, but apparently like they do the Jack and Sam maneuver.
Interesting.
I will have to go back and watch
that
it.
movie, and I have mostly forgotten it. So
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Before we go, we would like to take a moment to thank our patrons who make it possible for us to create the Secrets of Stargate, including Eric R., Meg S., Adam G., Raymond K., and Kristen A. Their generous donations at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue the Secrets of Stargate and all the shows at StarQuest. And you can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give. And be sure to follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and you can find our video versions at youtube.com/StarQuestMedia. And to find previous episodes of Secrets of Stargate and to send us feedback, please visit sqpn.com/Stargate. You can email us at stargate@sqpn.com or follow StarQuest on social media at facebook.com/StarQuestMedia and on Twitter at SQPN. You can also check out our Discord at sqpn.com/Discord. And we'll be back next time when we'll be discussing the next episode of SG-1, Homecoming. I'm assuming it's all about dances. Until then, Lisa Jones, thank you for joining me and sharing the secret to Stargate.
Thanks, Jack.
And Victor Lambs, thank you too.
Thanks, Jack, and everyone turn away. I want no witnesses.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm Jack Baruzzini. Thank you for listening to The Secret to Stargate on StarQuest.
Anyway, I'm sorry, but that just happens to be how I feel about it. What do you think?